Miss Mattie Merrywinkle, Chapter 10, The Delivery Man. Although Mr. Barlow had talked about a helpline to ensure the delivery of Mattie's shopping, she couldn't help fretting about how she would pay for it when it arrived, as she had very little money in her purse. She confided this to her friend Winnie when she rang her to break the news of the enforced isolation. "Oh, leave it to me, Chuck," Winnie instructed her. "There's nothing I like more than a challenge." The minute she put down the phone, she got to work. Winnie didn't have a car, so she couldn't do the errands herself, but she did have a computer, and unlike Mattie, she was familiar with the concept of online shopping. She'd had her own delivery slot for groceries throughout the pandemic, so it was fairly straightforward to switch the delivery address from hers to Mattie's, especially once she'd tugged at the heartstrings of the young girl on the end of the phone. But that slot was 2 days away, so something else would have to be set up in the meantime. Winnie went into her little bird mode and tracked down, then contacted a number of people to let them know about Mattie's situation. A few hours later, she got back to her friend. "Right, Mattie, love, you should be getting a food delivery sometime this afternoon." "Oh, well, that'd be wonderful, Winnie, but I still don't know how I'm going to pay for it." "Oh, don't worry about that. I've paid for it, and you can pay me back when things get back to normal and you can get to the bank again." "Oh, bless you. You're a good friend, Winnie." "Don't be daft. You do the same for me. By the way, keep an eye out for the very special delivery man. He should be with you about 3 o'clock. What did she mean by that? Special delivery man? Mattie shrugged. It was probably just Winnie being Winnie, creating mystery where there wasn't any. At 3:10, the doorbell rang and Mattie went to answer it. She almost dropped crook-legged because standing halfway down the path with a bag for life in each hand and a huge grin on his face was Charlie. Mattie's heart and stomach started behaving in strange ways. The unflattering tracksuit had been replaced by a nut brown polo shirt, the same colour as his eyes, and a pair of just the right length chino shorts, showing just the right amount of tanned calves. For once, she was speechless. "Hello, Mattie. Sorry to hear about Betty. Are you feeling all right, love?" Nobody else had asked her that. "Yes, I'm fine, thank you. I just don't like the idea of being cooped up like a chicken." "No, I bet you don't. It's a good job you got a friend like Winnie. She's a very persuasive woman. She asked me if I'd collect and deliver some groceries she'd ordered for you, so that's this bag." He placed one of the shopping bags on Mattie's step. "And then, in this other bag, there's some lovely pork sausages for your tea. I know they're lovely because my son made them. He's taken over the family business now, you know. There's also some tomatoes grown in his garden by old Jim, next door to me, who sends his commiserations, by the way, and some pink cupcakes baked by the little girls who live in the flat above his. You've got quite a fan club, Mattie." Charlie placed the second shopping bag on the step. "Oh, I don't know what to say. I'm overwhelmed by people's kindness." "Well, it couldn't happen to a nicer person. The being overwhelmed with kindness, I mean, not the being stuck indoors, obviously." He blushed. "Take care, Mattie." And with that, he was gone, leaving Mattie wishing she had at least combed her hair and checked her mouth for smears of raspberry jam before opening the door. The next day, the doorbell rang again, and there stood Charlie with another bag, this time containing 3 jigsaws. Mattie loved doing jigsaws. "Your friend, Winifred Featherbottom again. This time she asked me to collect these from her old boss, who's in charge of the collection depot for the charity shop. She says there's no charge, you can return them later when you've finished with them, and that she put her gloves on to pack them, so you should be safe." He placed the bag on the step. "How are you coping, love, with not being able to get out?" "Well, it's not as bad as I thought it might be. It's been quite nice to sit out in the garden and enjoy the sunshine and plan what I'm going to eat out of all the lovely things Winnie bought for me." "That's good, Matilda. You need a bit of fattening up." And now you've got something else to occupy you. He gestured towards the bag. Mattie beamed. Right, if there's nothing else you need at the moment. No, I've got everything I could possibly need, thank you. Then I'll be on my way. Bye, Matilda. A quick flash of that lovely cheeky grin again, and he was gone, leaving Mattie with a warm glow. At least she'd combed her hair this time. On the third day, the doorbell rang again. This collection is from Wendy in the wool shop. Your friend has obviously been very busy on your behalf. When I said she was persuasive, I didn't know the half of it. Wendy's wool shop? For one dreadful moment, Mattie thought Winnie might have organised a delivery of exquisite lingerie, following on from their conversation on their disastrous shopping trip, and that Charlie would have already seen it. But she needn't have worried. Inside the carrier bag was a knitting pattern for a Fair Isle cardigan, lots of balls of brightly coloured wool, and some knitting needles. Wendy doesn't think she'll be opening up the shop again, so she's going to have to sell off all her stock at knockdown prices. Winnie's arranged that you go and see Wendy when things get back to normal, and you can come to some agreement about the price of this lot, Charlie explained. Crikey, that'll keep me out of mischief for a while. Ooh, I'm excited. I can't wait to get started. Good. Winnie says that's a lot for now. She hopes it'll see you through while you're stuck at home. Did your Ocado delivery come this morning? Yes, thank you. I'll ring Winnie this evening and thank her for everything. Thank you too, Charlie, for being the delivery man. Loved it. It felt good to be useful. He coughed nervously and shuffled his feet about. I'll be seeing you then, Mattie. She watched him retreating up the path and going out of the gate, and was suddenly aware of her cat leaning against her legs. Hey up, Gerald. I think we're going to be all right after all.